everyone, today I'm going to be doing the A-Z Bookish Survey. I have seen a few people sort of bring this back recently. This is actually a really old tag, but I really liked the questions, so I was like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to give it a go. So that is what I am doing today. I hope you enjoy. So there is a question for each letter of the alphabet, and so obviously there's going to be 26 questions. So without further ado, let's get on with it because this could take a while. So A is authors you've read the most of. This, without a doubt, is Nicholas Sparks. I have read a total of 13 of his books. And my favourite book of his is Safe Haven. I love Safe Haven. B is best sequel ever. And for this, I have to go with Catch and Fire by Suzanne Collins. I adored this book so much. I love it so much, I still do to this day. I love the film. This is definitely my favourite in the series. I love The Hunger Games. I adore this one, but I didn't think too much of Mockingjay. But yeah, definitely this one. Absolutely love this one. C is currently reading, and for that I am currently reading Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. I am finally carrying on with this series. Yay! It's taken me ages to get through this book though for some reason, but I think it's probably just because I'm really busy, so I don't have time to just sit down and read for a few hours. Once I've got time to do that, I'm sure I'll be able to get it all finished. D is drink of choice while reading, and for this it will definitely either be tea, which I have today, or hot chocolate. I tend to drink a lot more hot chocolate in the winter when it's like really cold and raining and horrible outside, whereas when it starts to get a little bit better, when the weather starts to pick up a little bit, I tend to drink more tea. E is e-reader or physical book. Easy question for me completely, definitely physical book. I always read physical books. There is only one book I've ever read on e-reader, and that's because I got asked to review it and it was on e-reader format. That is all it was. But I didn't actually mind reading it on e-reader actually, it wasn't too bad, but I definitely prefer a physical book. I love paper, I love the smell of paper. Like that lovely book smell. You can't beat it. F is fictional character you would have probably dated in high school. For this, I'm going to have to say Neville Longbottom. I mean, he's just a bit awkward, isn't he? That would definitely be someone I would date. I mean, naturally, later films Neville Longbottom, because, well, that was a transformation to say the least, wasn't it? But yeah, definitely Neville Longbottom. He's just got such a sweet personality and he's quite an awkward person like me, so it kind of works. G is glad you gave this book a chance, and for this I will pick Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. This book my boyfriend told me to read, and I'm not keen on like sci-fi books or anything to do with gaming. I'm not a gamer. But he's like, no, you've got to give this book a read, it's really good. So I was like, right, to shut him up, I'm just going to read it. Like, let's just read it. So I read it and absolutely loved it. It ended up being one of my favourite books of last year. So that happened. Definitely give it a read if you've not read it already. H is Hidden Book Gem, and for this I went with The Art of Being Normal by Lisa Williamson. This is a book I've seen floating around BookTube a little bit last year, but not loads, and I ended up picking it up and adored it. I really love this book, and I think it has such good messages throughout as well. Definitely recommend it if you've not read it already. My little hidden gem. I is important moments in your reading life. So for this, I'm probably just going to have to say when I started making videos, because maybe when I started watching BookTube maybe, because that's when I started realising, oh my god, all these books are getting like recommended, and these are books I'd never usually pick up, and through that I found loads of books that I love that I would have never picked up in the first place at all, and I've picked them up and I've loved, and that has really opened my reading experience more. It's given me more varied books to read, so yeah, I'd definitely say that. J is just finished. Now, I haven't really just finished a book, it's been a few weeks because I've just not been reading very much, but the last book I finished was A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness, which I absolutely adored. I have so many positives about this book, it is so good. Really heart-wrenching, but definitely recommend it. There's also a film. If you haven't seen the film, definitely recommend that too. Liam Neeson is the monster, he's the voice of the monster, and Liam Neeson is great, so I mean, that's sold already, right? K is kind of books you won't read. Now, I tend to give most genres a go. I do tend to read quite a varied amount of genres. However, the one I don't reach for the most would be sci-fi. I am not a sci-fi reader. I have liked a couple of sci-fi reads. I mean, the Saga graphic novel series is fantastic. Ready Player One was fantastic. So I don't completely cancel out sci-fi at all, but it's the one I don't reach for as much. L is the longest book you've read, and for that I've gone with Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. I think it would be, now this has 766 pages, obviously it's quite a chunky book. I don't think I've read anything bigger than this. I might have, but I can't remember, but that's the one I'm going to say for this anyway, 766 pages. And M is Major Book Hangover because of, and for this I am going with Me Before You by Jojo Moyes and also A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness, because I tend to have book hangovers because of emotional books, books that have got me in tears, books that have made me think a lot, and both of these really made me think a lot. They both have very hard-hitting topics in them, and they tend to be the books that give me book hangovers. I have only read half a book, well, 3/4 of a book since reading this book, and I finished this a few weeks ago. There's your answer. And this one just made me cry and think a lot afterwards, so yeah. Both of these have films, like I said with this one before, you know that one, but this also has film. Definitely recommend that as well, really good. N is number of bookcases you own, and I have 2 bookcases. I have this one behind me and I have a one downstairs, and I also have 2 shelves in the corner of my room over there as well, but I just constantly run out of shelf space, so I need to probably do an unhaul at some point, but I just can't bring myself around to doing it. O is one book you've read multiple times, and for this I've gone with my favourite book, which is Anne of Green Gables by Ellen Montgomery. This I've read maybe 3 times and will carry on reading it. I love it so much. Definitely recommend. It's a classic, it's a children's classic, very easy to get through, and I just adore this book. P is preferred place to read, and for this I will probably say my bed, because I tend to read mostly at night in my bed, sometimes during the day if I have time, but I don't usually get time during the day. However, in the summer, I'm in the UK, so when I say summer I mean like the odd days we get. On those odd sunny days we get, I quite like to sit in the garden as well. Q is quote that inspires you, and we all know I am a huge Harry Potter fan. Massive Harry Potter fan, so naturally one of the quotes I'm going to pick here, it had to be a Dumbledore one, didn't it? Dumbledore and his quotes are just amazing, and the one I've picked is happiness can be found even in the darkest of times if one only remembers to turn on the light. I love that one. I also really like it does not do to dwell on dreams and forget to live. I really like that one as well, but yeah, any of those really, love both of them. R is read and regret. Now this took me a while to think about. I really couldn't think of much, but I came up with not using the library anymore. I don't really use the library anymore, and I'd quite like to change that. But honestly, it's finding time to actually go to the library, and I know that sounds really lazy, but I'm constantly busy. Like the day I'm filming this, I'm actually filming 3 videos on one day because I don't have time to film any other time because I'm constantly out and about and I'm teaching and I'm doing parties and things, so I never really get any time to do any of this. So yeah, probably not using the library more. I really regret that, but I don't usually get time to go. The next one is S, and this is series that you've started but haven't finished yet. And for this I have a list. I have a huge list, and I think I've done a video on this actually, so if I have, I'll leave that in the description below for you to go check out. But just for this question, I'm going to pick one of them, and that is A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J Maas. I've read this one. I've not read the second book yet. That is downstairs on my TBR shelf. And the third book is coming out this year, so I really need to get that read because I'm so excited for this series, and for some reason I've just not carried on with it. I probably do really need to reread this one though before I read the second one again because I can't really remember much about it. T is 3 of your all-time favourite books, and for this, all 3 I've already used in this video. So we have Anne of Green Gables by Ellen Montgomery, obviously, Me Before You by Jojo Moyes, and A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness. U is unapologetic fangirl for anything Harry Potter. I don't care. I am obsessed with anything Harry Potter, any of the characters, any of the locations, all of the books, all of the films. Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, Newt Scamander. Well, no, my Newt Scamander love, that's a bit insane at the minute. Any of the merchandise you can get, I've got loads of it. I've got a shelf dedicated to Harry Potter in the corner of my room. That could be another bookshelf, but I've used it for Harry Potter stuff instead. So yes, anything Harry Potter. V is very excited for this release over others, and I have two for this. I couldn't pick between the two, so I've picked two. And we have the third book in the Court of Thorns and Roses series, A Court of Wings and Ruin, which comes out on the 2nd of May. And then we also have All That She Can See by Carrie Hope Fletcher, which comes out on the 13th of July. W is Worst Bookish Habit. And for this, and it really counts for what's happening at the minute, is I get into reading slumps really easily. Like, I love reading, but oh my god, reading slumps at the minute are terrible. I get into such bad reading slumps, so that is probably my worst bookish habit. That's all I can think of anyway. X is X marks the spot. Start at the top left of your shelf and pick the 27th book. So I'm going to use this bookshelf because it's the easiest one to use. Really good book for the 27th. Really good, really good, really good. The Hobbit by J.R. Tolkien. I love The Hobbit. Fantastic book. Really good. If you've not read The Hobbit, oh my god, please read The Hobbit. It is brilliant. Y is your latest book purchase, and I haven't actually got this yet, but I will be getting it today. Literally, as I'm filming this video, I am getting it today. My sister's picking it up for me later, and it is The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas, and I cannot wait to read this. I am very, very excited. It is coming to my Waterstones now, so I can get it, and I pre-ordered it, so it is ready waiting for me. I just need my sister to pick it up for me as she's already in town anyway. Z is Snatcher. A book that kept you up really late. There have been so many books that have kept me up really late, and a lot of them I could probably use that I've already used on this list, but I will change it up a little bit and I will say Dream House by Martsia Vesakinen. And this is quite a creepy book. It is about Amethyst, who is out in a storm, and she comes across her dream house and she is invited in to take shelter from the storm. And she ends up staying the night, but what happens is she wakes up in the morning and she's completely alone. The people that were there aren't there anymore, and really mysterious things are happening. And she's meeting really mysterious people around the house and around the house grounds. So because this is so creepy, it did keep me awake for so long, and it's a really short book, so I pretty much read it within 1 or 2 sittings anyway, but this kept me up really late. So that is it for this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you want to give this a go, please do. I'd love to see your videos as well. Leave any answers to any of these questions you have in the comments below, as I'd love to know. All of my social media links are in the description below as well, so you can go check any of those out. If you've enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you all in my next video very soon. Bye!